two of the top prospects, in Kelenick's case, a top 5 prospect in the entire game, making their debut tonight. Logan Gilbert will be up on the bump. This is an exciting night.
Yeah, it's pretty cool across the board. There's a certain buzz around the ballpark. When Gilbert was going out to the bullpen to get ready, you could hear chants of his name. The fans there are certainly into it, that's for sure. But the biggest thing, and they are two critical pieces to this organization as they move forward, and it's pretty neat that both of them are going to make their debuts tonight.
Massive building blocks for the Mariners starting tonight. How about we take a deeper look, Mike, at Jarred Kelenick? These rankings on the 20 to 80 scouting scale, courtesy of MLB.com. He's a 5-tool guy, Mike.
Hey, he really is. He's above average in every category for him. And I think the main thing is he's still just 21 years old, so it's going to be pretty awesome to see his debut today. I'm excited to watch him. He's an intense player, as you can see right there. He can run a little bit as he steals a base. So you're right. All 5 tools are there for him, above Major League average for sure.
Well, we have heard Jerry talk about how they feel comfortable putting him in all 3 outfield positions. He'll be in left field primarily, but they won't be afraid to put him in center field or in right field when Kyle Lewis or Mitch Haniger needs a day. Overall, the makeup is off the charts as Jarred Kelenick makes his Major League debut tonight. So does this man, Logan Gilbert, one of the Mariners' top prospects and their top pitching prospect. He will toe the slab. We'll talk Logan Gilbert when we come back. Financial partner investing in Mariners fans everywhere. And by your local Toyota dealers for all Toyota offers. Go to buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. A gorgeous night around Seattle. Temperatures in the low 70s as we are getting set for the first of 4, Mariners and the Indians. And Logan Gilbert, Mike, is getting set to make his Major League debut.
Yeah, I'm sure that he's a little bit nervous about this, excited for the opportunity. Watched him come out of the dugout at about 10 after 6. I could hear people chanting his name, but he got started in his routine fairly early for this one. He's known as a strike thrower, so we'll see if he can command the strike zone here in the first inning. Maybe the second inning he'll settle down. Fastball will be in the mid-90s, slider, curve, changeup for Gilbert.
Hoping to see 5 innings, 85 pitches or so per Scott Service. Couple of debuts. Gilbert on the mound. And, of course, Jarred Kelenick starting in left field. What a memorable night this one could be shaping up to be from inside T-Mobile Park.
With young players stepping forward, carrying hope for a fan base while creating a sense of anticipation. Tonight, the future meets the present for the Mariners as 2 stars of their system make their Major League debut. Others have stepped on this diamond full of promise, delivering on those expectations and transforming this city.
The wind and the pitch on the way to Junior, and it's swung on it, belted, deep to left field, held to the track, the wall, fly away! Welcome to Seattle, Ken Griffey Jr.
In a game full of history, it's always fun to watch new players arrive and start to create their own chapter.
This is clobbered out to right field. Back, and gone. Jarred Kelenick going yard out to right field.
Following in the footsteps of others who made their debut in the Emerald City, Jarred Kelenick and Logan Gilbert begin their own journey. Join us for the ride as we watch it unfold.
It is a picture-perfect night to be inside the ballpark. Welcome inside T-Mobile Park. We have a very anticipated evening of Mariners baseball. Logan Gilbert up on the mound. Jarred Kelenick out in left field. 2 foundational pieces making their Major League debut tonight in a Mariners uniform to open up the homestand. Terry Francona's starting lineup. Jose Ramirez, who finished 2nd in the MVP vote last year, 10 home runs. Tied with Mitch Haniger, 2nd in the major leagues. Ramirez has been the engine that is driving this Indians offense. 9th in the league in runs per game, almost last in on-base percentage. They do get their fair share of walks. They don't strike out a ton. It will be the first task faced, Mike, for Logan Gilbert up on a major league mound for the first time in his career.
And I'm sure pretty excited about it. Oh, he's going to go at 85 pitches today, maybe 5 innings for him. Just 1 start at the AAA level. He pitched 5 innings in that outing, gave up just 1 earned run. Didn't walk anybody and had 5 strikeouts. Everybody excited about this debut for Logan Gilbert.
Logan's family in the ballpark here tonight. Mom and company. As we have a lot of family in the ballpark tonight between these two. Both Logan and Jarred were informed days ago that they would be making their Major League debuts tonight for a variety of reasons. Finding out earlier than Mike what would be normal. Normally you'd find out maybe call it 24 hours ahead of time or so. But part of the reason with the world we live in right now, travel is not quite as easy. But the front office wanted to make sure that family could be in attendance here tonight for a very special evening for both guys.
You're right. It's a special evening for both of them, so it's great that they're here at the ballpark and had the opportunity to get here on time.
Our first pitch brought to you by First Tech Federal Credit Union. Logan Gilbert winds and fires. First pitch in play. Let's help the pitch count. See, it's 96 with his first offering of the show, and it's flagged down by Haniger.
Now this is an outfield we may be looking at for quite a while. Jared Kelenic in left field, Kyle Lewis in center, Mitch Haniger is in right field, Crawford Moore in the middle of the diamond, and Luis Torrens will do the catching.
One pitch, one out. Ahmed Rosario coming over from New York in the Francisco Lindor deal. Batting second at shortstop for the Indians. 96 for a strike. Logan Gilbert, 14th overall by the Mariners in 2018 out of Stetson University. The one start with the Rainiers, 5 innings, a run and 5 strikeouts. This is looped out to right field as Haniger is able to get to this one easily for round number 2.
A little bit of sun out in right field right now, so Haniger had to battle that, but able to make the catch.
It is wild to think about, Mike, but because of no minor league season last year as Ramirez climbs in, Gilbert, who had a magnificent pro debut in 2019, he climbed 3 levels. He finished at Double-A, was at the alternate site last year. So those 5 innings in Tacoma, his first competitive inning since the end of the 2019 season.
That is strange. And good news, though, is he's throwing strikes right away and has the good fastball. 97, missing the outside corner. As Logan Gilbert settles in, you'll see that fastball more towards the top of the zone. Slider curve changeup for him.
Rip and a miss at 96 elevated, which is something that he is very proficient at, that fastball up in the zone.
And a little extra life to the fastball when it's at the top of the zone.
Back in the count 2-2. Nothing but fastballs so far for Logan Gilbert, which I don't think is a surprise when you consider, I know you might consider a 4-pitch mix, and Mariners believe all 4 pitches above average, but he is a fastball heavy pitcher. There's no question.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he wasn't around that 60% range.
Another fly ball, weakly hit. Here comes another first-round draft pick by the Mariners. Kyle Lewis puts it away. Jared Kelenic making his Major League debut, and Scott Servais putting him at the very top of the order. As his name just announced inside T-Mobile Park.
You get the feeling that he's perfectly fine with hitting leadoff today, don't you?
I don't think there's a thing that would face him right now. His family in the house. Very lengthy pass list for Jared Kelenic. He's been waiting his whole life for this very moment. He's not in his backyard anymore. Mariners' top prospect and one of the top 5 prospects in all of baseball. First pitch to Jared Kelenic. He swings and rifles it out towards right field. Naylor running out of room. He tumbles into the stands, and he makes the catch. That's a tough way to get it going.
That's an incredible catch. Here that it went right over the top of the fans that were down there. Maybe just inside. No, that is right over his glove, or right over his hand and into his glove, and able to hold on to as he crashes into the seats. That's at the end of the glove, too. What a catch.
Naylor, who's really considered more of a first baseman than a right fielder, or at least a better first baseman than outfielder. Terrific play. Here comes Mitch Haniger. I think it surprises no one that Kelenic went after the first pitch.
Why not?
I don't think that's how anyone saw it going, however.
No, I would agree.
It's a fairly unlucky start to your big league career as
Zach Plesac on the mound challenged him with the fastball.
Now, Plesac, 27 years old, his first career start against the Mariners, has not allowed a run in his 2 starts this month. He's coming off 8 scoreless against Cincinnati. Now, normally, 8 scoreless innings is good enough to get you and your ball club the win, but not the case for Plesac his last time on the bump, because the opposing pitcher was Wade Miley, who spun a no-hitter.
He's going to try to keep the ball on the ground. 40 innings for him, 31 strikeouts, 7 walks. Average fastball at 93 miles an hour.
2-2 on Haniger. Mitch, 5 home runs, 10 driven in his last 11 games. Now the 2-2. Hard hit on the ground, but right to Rosario. It's strange to say someone other than Lindor over there. There is out number 2. The Michaels Toyota of Bellevue Mariners starting lineup. We'll be seeing Kyle Seager bat third. Kyle Lewis in the cleanup spot tonight for the Mariners. Luis Torrens doing the catching. A little more at second base with Evan White rounding out the order, batting ninth at first base. 2 up and 2 down for Kyle Seager. Shift is on for Seager. He takes a first pitch strike. It can be easy to maybe lose sight of Plesac in this rotation. You think about the star power that the Indians have had in their starting 5 in recent years. Shane Bieber winning the Cy Young last year. We'll see him on Sunday in the series finale. But you look at the career numbers even for Plesac. Early on. This now is 3rd year in the majors, and he has put together a really terrific start to a career.
He's really pitched well in his last 2 starts, 13 2/3, not allowing a run.
Let me say that he goes. Well, tonight's SAP broadcast is brought to you by the Laborers Union, 47,000 strong in the Northwest. Two outs, nobody on. Plesac's 1-2. Missing high and wide. Zach, the nephew of former All-Star lefty Dan Plesac, if the name sounds familiar. Does get a lot of that, a lot of ground balls. 4th highest ground ball rate in the league.
Almost 55% on the ground.
We talk about Logan Gilbert wanting to establish his fastball, throw it a lot tonight. On the other side of things, Plesac throws almost more off-speed pitches than anybody else in the league.
And it really leans on his slider and changeup with the occasional curveball. On the year, he throws his fastball 39% of the time, so you have to use all 4.
Kyle Lewis on deck. Here comes the payoff. And Seager draws a walk. A rare walk issued by Plesac.
And the defense, Harold Ramirez will be in center field. Jose Ramirez at third base. Jake Bowers is your first baseman. Austin Hedges will do the catch. First pitch strike rate this year, 68%, well above Major League average.
Top 5 in the American League now facing Kyle Lewis. I think we knew this coming into this season, but when you look at the Mariners and where they are in the timetable for so many prospects, we are now beginning to see those former first-rounders and the key pieces acquired via trade in recent years not only come to Seattle, but in some cases actually get a bit of a foothold in the major leagues. Kyle Lewis, former first-rounder, Rookie of the Year last year. Kelnick Gilbert debuting tonight. Crawford the Gold Glove. Evan White the Gold Glove last year. But this year has a much different feeling to it than a couple of years ago when there was still a lot of waiting for those guys to graduate their prospect status, graduate from the minors up to the majors. Many of them are here now. It does not go. It's 2-1. And that being said, some of those guys that we mentioned still haven't played a full season because of the shortened season last year. Maybe it's because Kyle Lewis debuted at the tail end of 2019. It feels like he has been here much longer, but when you consider just 60 games last year for Kyle Lewis, tonight is his 95th career big league game, so he's yet to play a full season.
162 will be a challenge for a lot of these players.
Another full count.
Typically, he'll hit a wall sometime, probably at the beginning of August. Sometimes it can last a couple of weeks. You kind of get past it.
France on deck. Seager at first, 2 outs. Want to keep that speed in check over there.
I will go every now and then if you're not paying attention.
You have the courage to say that to his face, Mike? I thought he just had the green light all the time. Check swing. He does not go. And Plesac, who has one of the lowest walk rates in the league, walks 2 batters in a row with 2 outs.
Yeah, we had 7 walks on the season. And now a couple of walks here in the first.
Longtime skipper Terry Francona inside the Indians dugout. Our old friend Carl Willis, Cleveland pitching coach. Now the walk rate up by a small amount for Plesac this year. Still minuscule, though.
A pretty good fastball to hit. By being aggressive, 94 miles an hour. Probably about belt high.
Mariners making it work. 20 pitches now in the first inning. And Ty falls behind 0-2. Mariners return home tonight following a 1-4 trip. There was an off day mixed in. 3 games in Texas, then 2 in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Mariners losing both. Chavez Ravine taking just one of those games in Arlington prior to that. Softly in play, past Plesac's glove. Hernandez on to first. And Gilbert can take a nice big deep breath after a very quick and tidy 1-2-3 top of the first inning.
How about 3 flyouts for him, a couple to right field. Haniger, no problem at all. Threw a lot of fastballs in the first inning, topping out at 97 miles an hour. And happy to get in the dugout. Kyle Lewis will take this last fly ball for him.
Just 8 pitches, 3 outs. Eddie Rosario, new face in Cleveland, longtime Twin. Leads off the top of the second. Gilbert spent last year at the Mariners' alternate site. He was a part of summer camp before that. And the reports from Tacoma, the alternate site last year, the changeup for Gilbert made great strides. Considered his 4th pitch, especially going into that year, a pitch that he had thrown in the minors, but very different looking changeup now than what he had back in 2019. And if we stay on this rate tonight, Mike, I don't think we'll see the changeup this evening.
Fastball at 100%.
That's right.
I think maybe the second time through the lineup, we might mix it up a little bit more.
He climbed 3 levels in 2019. Topping out with Double-A Arkansas. Another fly ball. Kelenic puts it away. How about tonight's guaranteed rates? Believe in Logan Gilbert. His minor league career, 27 starts, microscopic 2.12 earned run average and an opposing average, Mike, of under 200.
Yeah, nice. 170 strikeouts for him in 140 innings. It's great to see. All flyout so far here this evening. There's another fastball at the top of the zone.
Franmil Reyes, the batter.
There's a curveball at 74.
Reyes having a good start to the year.
Struggling lately.
Shoots this deep to center. Kyle Lewis at the wall, and this is gone. Reyes, big-time power, his 9th home run this season. And he puts the Indians in front 1-0.
Started with the curveball, comes back. Another off-speed pitch at 81 miles an hour. That's the slider. Hung it, left it up in the middle of the zone. See Logan Gilbert hanging his head a little bit after it was hit. He knew it was probably going to leave the ballpark. Exit velo of 111.
Josh Naylor digs in. Naylor, who had the fantastic catch and foul ground to take an at-bat away from Jared Kelenic. Gilbert ahead 0-2.
And going right back to the fastball.
In play into center field. Naylor gets a piece of 97 and turns it into a 1-out single. One out, a run in, and a man aboard for Harold Ramirez. Number 7 hitting center fielder. Logan Gilbert from the mid-major program of Stetson University, who has turned out a couple of good pitchers prior to Logan Gilbert. Some guys with some pretty serious hardware. Corey Kluber, speaking of the Indians, and Jacob deGrom, as that hook gets in there for a strike. Well, deGrom during his Stetson days was manning a lot of shortstop. Ball and a strike. Did you know that Stetson, they were the Hatters, Mike? Were you,
I did not know
were you
that.
locked in on that?
Yeah, no, I did not know that.
Some niche mid-major trivia for you. Down the right field line, sounded like maybe a broken bat, foul ball.
Broken bat on another fastball. That one 94 miles an hour off the outside corner. I wonder if deGrom was throwing 100 when he was at Stetson. What do you think, Aaron?
I think he was just turning around 100 miles an hour as a 130-pound shortstop for the Hatters. Well, the Mariners took Gilbert 14th overall in 2018. As you might recall, that started the run of 3 straight right-handed college pitchers the Mariners took with their first-round selection. George Kirby out of Elon, and then Emerson Hancock out of Georgia. Into center, Kyle Lewis comes in a few steps and he makes the catch. 2 gone. Two outs, Naylor at first. First baseman Jake Bauer is now the batter. Well, the Indians have won 3 in a row coming into this one tonight. They've won 8 of their last 9. Only way I can figure out, Mike, to stop the Indians is to no-hit them. They've been no-hit twice. 2 of the 4 no-hitters spun so far this year in the majors. That's right, already 4 no-hitters the Indians have fallen victim to.
Yeah, they really lean on their pitching, especially that rotation that you've been talking about. Solid bullpen for them, but offensively they've had their struggles this year.
Rips through a high fastball, 0-2.
You would expect Cleveland to be aggressive. Because for a club that has struggled offensively, they really don't strike out much. So I think that they're aggressive early in counts, put the ball in play. It'd be important for the Mariners over the 4 days to play some solid defense.
Torrens thinking about a throw down to first base, but holds on to it. Torrens and Naylor both spending time with the Padres. Maybe Torrens just having some fun with a former teammate down there at first, keeping him on his toes. Gilbert's 1-2. There goes Naylor down to second base. He coasts in there without a throw.
And an off-speed pitch. That's the slider, 82 miles an hour. Be a wild pitch.
Gilbert's 2-2. Line into left field. Kelnick will cut it off. Naylor rounding and scoring. And the Indians push 2 across in their half of the second. It's 2-0 Cleveland.
And the wild pitch ends up costing him a run. Fastball out over the plate, 95 miles an hour. The delivery, Supermo. Bowers, who has struggled this year, hitting just 190. Solid line drive.
Here's the catcher, Austin Hedges. This is popped up and getting out of play. You know, in terms of the inning load for Logan Gilbert this year, that one start, 5 innings with Tacoma before the call-up on his Major League debut tonight. If he stays on turn, goes every 6 days and pitches in that neighborhood of 5 to 6 innings per start, that should put him roughly in the neighborhood of about 20 starts by season's end. Good to see Noelvi Marte checking in with his first home run for Modesto. There's a soft pop-up. Oh, Logan. What could have been. He'll let the Gold Glover take care of it. Maybe in his second start, he'll make that catch. Up on the mound. How about his arsenal?
Four-seam fastball at 39% again. Its average is 93 miles an hour. Slider, an excellent pitch form. He'll throw that almost 26%. Changeup and the occasional curveball.
Good look through StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. Gorgeous night. First pitch temperature 67 degrees. J.P. Crawford leading off the home second.
Mariners with an opportunity in the first. A couple of walks. Unable to pick up the big base hit.
Oh, 2 on Crawford beginning the second.
Plesac with 22 pitches in the first.
The Mariners made him work those 2 walks. I think there's a chance that Plesac wasn't going to walk 2 all night, let alone consecutive batters. This finds Rosario in left field. Leadoff man retired. From being an original junior Mariner to becoming a season ticket member in 2020, Mark Harris is undoubtedly true to the blue. Now he enjoys games at T-Mobile Park with his dad, wife, and 3 sons. Thanks for your support, Mark. For info on how you can be a season ticket member, visit mariners.com/21. One up, one down. Luis Torrens, the batter. Behind the bag, Hernandez off-balance throw. 4 pitches, 2 outs here in the second. Maybe quietly, as we see the replay from Hernandez at second base. Maybe quietly, though, Dylan Moore had a really nice road trip. 5 for 14, a double, a home run. Threw a couple of walks.
Well, he could be so important to this offense with all the things that he can do. He has some power. He can steal a base for you. Month of April was rough on him this year, but starting to move in the right direction.
He bats with 2 outs and nobody on. Outer Black for a strike, 1-1. Popped up, third base, foul ground. Jose Ramirez with 2 hands and the side retired in order. 2 in the books, 2-0 Indians. Logan Gilbert making his Major League debut as we focus in on the Home Depot getting more done. How about the Mariners' top prospects and where they are located? Kelnick making his Major League debut tonight. Julio with Everett. Just recently hitting his first IA home run.
And Marte at the bottom of that list, also hitting a home run tonight.
Cesar Hernandez, leadoff man, begins the third. Swing and a miss on the curve, 0-2.
This is what we're going to start to see from him now that he's settling into this game. First pitch fastball right at the top of the zone. Curveball catches the bottom of the zone.
Gilbert's 0-2. Boy, check swing. He goes around, and the first strikeout in the big league career of Logan Gilbert is in the books. Cesar Hernandez walking back to the dugout. The first of many for number 36.
And here you go, another off-speed pitch. So fastball, top of the zone, curveball, then back with the slider. Not able to check his swing. Delivery Supremo. Hernandez goes down. Starting to mix it up a little bit more. A lot of fastballs in the first inning. Starting to mix it up now.
It's the call for strike one.
Ted Barrett, the home plate umpire.
When you talk to some in the pitching group in the front office, baseball ops for the Mariners, and you ask them what Gilbert's best secondary pitch is, there's some mixed opinion, which I think is pretty encouraging that there is that much opportunity for multiple pitches after the fastball. Some liking his curve more, some liking his slider more.
And you talked about his much improved changeup. That'll just get better over the course of time, the more he starts to throw it.
His 1-2. One of the things the Mariners identified early before drafting him 14th overall, they love his extension with the fastball. He's 6'6", commanding wingspan, and you look at where he releases the ball in proximity to home plate. That fastball's got a lot of deception to it and can really get on you.
And watching him in spring training, almost seemed that he was going to stride and touch the grass. Taking away some of that distance. There it is, 6'6", 2 1/4.
Another 1-2. Over Dylan Moore into the gap. Kyle Lewis quickly sprinting over to cut it off. That holds Rosario to a one-out single.
Rosario handling a fastball 96 miles an hour on the outside corner. Pitch was away, so he hit it the other way. Solid line drive base hit. Hustling. Was thinking about two if there was any bobble out there. No problem for Kyle Lewis.
We've seen that first pitch curve more in this third inning. On that last hit, Mike, from Rosario, was it more just the fact that it was middle away as opposed to being up at the top or down at the bottom?
Yes. I think hitting the outside corner, but it was more belt high, so he's just dropping the barrel on it. If he elevates, then as a hitter, you have to work harder to try to get to a good fastball, especially at 96.
Rosario taken off. Torrens, the tag by Crawford, and he's safe. So he's saying, maybe look at that. For now, stolen base. Scott Service.
He's holding people up. So he was able to tag him on his foot, throw a little bit up the line, had to make an adjustment. Quick tag.
No challenge coming.
I'm not even sure he tagged him.
Indians have stolen 18 bases and been caught just twice this season. Ramirez has reached in 20 of his last 23 games. MVP runner-up last season. And with Lindor gone, now in New York with the Mets, this feels as though it is Jose Ramirez's team now. At least on the offensive side of things. For so long, that had been one of the best left sides of any infield in baseball. With Lindor at short, Ramirez at third. Ramirez, who came up as a second baseman, but has anchored third base for years now in Cleveland. Turns on this, out to right field. Haniger onto the warning track, at the wall, it's gone. Second home run tonight for the Indians. Jose Ramirez, a 2-run home run, 4-0 Cleveland.
A couple of mistakes with the fastball. Again, trying to go to the top of the zone. That's more middle in. 361 feet. Actually jammed him a little bit, but still able to hit it out of the ballpark.
Pete Woodworth out for a quick chat. Some great familiarity there between Woodworth and Logan Gilbert. Pete, his pitching coach back in 2019 in Double-A. First pitch fastball strike to Eddie Rosario. Jammed him. Seager has this one in his sights for out number 2. Two out, 2 runs in thanks to Ramirez. Franmil Reyes now the batter. A nice night for Taylor Trammell.
It's good to see.
Reyes the home run of the second. Reyes has always had streaky pop. Homering out to dead center his last time up. Just 25 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. Former Padre. Had a breakout 2019 when he hit 37 home runs. The 0-2. Check swing. He does not go. Reyes, like a lot of power hitters, he's been strikeout prone. Gilbert's got 2 strikes on him.
Barely getting a piece of the slider down out of the zone. Right off the end of the bat. Back-to-back sliders. McDelivery Supermo. A bite to that slider. He was able to get him.
Another foul ball. Still a ball and 2 strikes. goal, the hope tonight for Scott Service is to get in the neighborhood of 80 to 85 pitches for Gilbert as he's just past the 50-pitch mark.
I think that's fairly safe since he's had just the one start at AAA.
He was just under 80 pitches in his lone start this year. Another 1-2, cut on and missed. Logan Gilbert punches out Franmil Reyes to end the top of the third. The Mariners have partnered with Virginia Mason Franciscan Health and the city of Seattle to offer COVID-19 vaccines at 3 different locations at T-Mobile Park during Mariners home games. Vaccinations are available to those 12 or older who have not already received their first dose. The Mariners thank fans for their role in helping keep our communities safe. Nine 1-2 for the Mariners. Evan White leads off the third. On the ground to Rosario. Second time up for Jared Kelnick.
First time through the lineup for Plesac, 4 ground ball outs. We talked about the ground ball rate this year. It's been excellent for him.
It was not exactly the result of the first at-bat in the big leagues that we imagined for Kelnick.
The web gem into the stands.
Anything but routine.
Anything but routine is right.
Swinging at the first pitch, Josh Naylor leaping into the crowd and making a spectacular catch. Kelnick 6 games with the Rainiers. He homered twice on opening night for Tacoma. Just 21 years old, out of Waukesha, Wisconsin. Behind 1-2.
Chasing a changeup off the plate and then right back with the breaking ball at the bottom of the zone. Borderline pitch. Called a strike.
Down on strikes, chasing one off the plate.
And right back to the changeup. First strikeout for Plesac. Ended up picking up the first strike on him on the changeup. You can see it running off the plate, 86 miles an hour, and then puts him away with another changeup. Looks like it's going to be on the outside corner and just disappears on him.
Strike one to Haniger. You look at how often Plesac uses all 4 of his pitches, Mike. You really can't eliminate a pitch. Maybe there's a matchup lefty-righty. Maybe he's not throwing that changeup as much to right-handers, although a pitch that he's got great confidence in, of course.
Yeah, I think you're right. When you're looking at the percentages today on how he uses his pitches, it doesn't change. First time, second time, third time through the lineup. Do basically the same mix. When he's ahead in the count, behind the count, even in the count. Makes it difficult as a hitter to try to eliminate pitches or sit on anything.
He's got an 0-2 fast on Mitch Haniger, who pops this up. Rosario coming over. Tonight's game is brought to you by your Western Washington Toyota dealers, where you'll find the exciting new Venza, Toyota's first ever exclusively all-wheel drive hybrid. For all Toyota offers, go to buyatoyota.com. .52 pitches for Logan Gilbert through 3 innings as we start the top of the 4th. We bring in our very own Ryan Rowland-Smith. Hyphen, what are you making so far of young Logan Gilbert?
Well, definitely the heart rate's, beating a couple extra beats per minute. That's for sure. You could tell, his first couple innings. But you know what? couple hard hit balls, fastballs down the middle of the plate, just trying to find that command. But, you know, sometimes it's better. Obviously, you want to have that fairy tale debut, but sometimes it's better to get hit around, you know, and get that off your back a little bit as quick as you can, so you can just settle in and just go and pitch.
Hey, Ryan, I want you to go tell him it's a good thing he was hit around a little bit. Major League debuts can be difficult for people, and we've talked about Gilbert. You know, the scouting report on that fastball at the top of the zone more times than not tonight. It's been more belt high. He'll make that adjustment, but I like his curveball tonight.
Yeah, and you start to see that mix in, you know, a little bit more as these innings, you know, go along. He was obviously a heavy fastball, you know, type pitcher. He's throwing a bunch of them. Like I said, just nerves are just going crazy at the moment, but you can start to see a little bit of that mix and a little bit of that just ease into that flow of his delivery and start making some pitches and just get out of the middle of that strike zone.
This is out to right field. Mitch Haniger is there.
Ryan, what was your debut like?
Well, you know what? This is Aaron's favorite story. I basically came in, struck out the guy who's got that statue out the front of the stadium right now, Ken Griffey Jr. So it was definitely a memorable one. And all that tells you, too, I mean, I should have a statue, right? I mean, me 1, Ken Griffey Jr. 0. But it was memorable, that's for sure. But obviously definitely not as anticipated, highly anticipated like Logan Gilbert and Jared Kelenic, that's for sure.
See, Blow, now Hyphen's going to think that I asked you to ask that question.
You did.
You did.
Hyphen, as always, man, we appreciate it. We'll catch up with you later tonight. Mariners post-game presented by Alaska Airlines. Harold Ramirez pops his foul ground. Evan White giving chase and out of his range, which is saying something. One ball and 1 strike. Well, the Mariners really first set eyes on Logan Gilbert, or maybe it's not fair to say first, but really intently began scouting Logan Gilbert when he pitched in the Cape League in the summer of 2007. He pitched for Orleans, the Cape Cod Baseball League, the top amateur collegiate wood bat league in the country, where he really dominated some of the very best college hitters in the country. That was going into his junior year. Got him chasing a dirty pitch all the way to the backstop. Torrens has no throw. Ramirez is into first, despite the strikeout.
And it's going to be the hard breaking ball. That's the slider. And with Luis, we've seen this a few times this year where he'll be in front of it, ready to block it, and he just lifts that glove up, and it goes in between his legs out to the backstop. Committed to having to block it, you have to keep that glove down. I was expecting it to bounce up, and it didn't.
1 out, 1 on for Jake Bauers. There's a hearty swing and a miss. Scott Hunter, the Mariners scouting director, and the Mariners group altogether really believe firmly that Logan was one of the very top prospects on the Cape that summer. He dazzled. His velo was in the mid-90s. But then the interesting thing was he goes back to Stetson for his junior year, going into the draft, and his velocity really went down. In fact, there were multiple starts his final year in college where he was sitting in the neighborhood of 88 to 91.
Whoa.
Which was far different than what they saw in the mid-90s, popping the occasional 96 or 7 like we're seeing him tonight in the Cape just months before that. And that made a lot of teams kind of weary of what might be going on with Logan Gilbert. And you add to the fact he was pitching at a mid-major at Stetson. The level of competition was not obviously nearly as high as a pitcher in a power conference. How about the next pitch missing high? And really worked out to benefit the Mariners in a major way. The Mariners, as they continued to scout Gilbert throughout the entire process his junior year, they hung with them. In his final handful of starts, he started to get that velo up some more. He was more 93, 94. Count evens up 2-2. And the Mariners really stayed true to what they saw on the Cape. And obviously they love the makeup, the person, as they got to know Logan Gilbert more. And they really believed that that arm that they saw this summer going into his junior year was what he had. And for whatever variety of reasons, the velo just dipped for the majority of his junior year in college. He goes. Another strikeout for Logan Gilbert, make it number 4.
So with all of that, Aaron, there was no injury or anything like that. It was just a little bit of dead arm, I guess.
You wonder if it was a combination somehow of the summer, whatever the workload was in the Cape.
Yeah. Possible. Not able to lay off the slider down and in.
Here's Austin Hedges. And it turned out that the Mariners scouting group's hunch was right, as we can see the velocity that we have seen here tonight. Fouled back. You know, even back in 2019, the velocity kind of wavered for Logan when he was pitching at 3 different levels in his first pro season. There's some nights where it was more in the low 90s, other nights where he was more in the low to mid 90s. His first pitch on a very frigid night in Tacoma in his 2021 debut with the Rainiers was at 97. No doubt pitching with some adrenaline that night and once again here tonight. I think one of the really appealing things about Logan Gilbert is that even if he's not sitting 97, the deception that he has, plus the 4-pitch mix, 4 pitches that they believe are all above average, he can do a lot at this level. Well, 68 pitches for Logan Gilbert. Drew Steckenrider beginning to loosen up. Big night for the Rainiers and Taylor Trammell. It's looking like a classic PCL score. Or AAA West. I beg your pardon. Just off the plate.
If you see Tracer had it just off the plate.
Jammed him. Mike, this might be coming to you. Mike? No. I actually was encouraged by your initial silence. Thought that might mean something happened.
Something was happening. I was rolling my chair out of the way.
But is it in your booth?
No, it's the one next door where the camera is.
That's very disappointing. Time call. Here comes the payoff. Swing and a miss. Austin Hedges. Just a spectacular night in Seattle as we take a look inside the ballpark thanks to our T-Mobile coverage cam. Debuts here tonight. Gilbert, Jared Kelnick. I'll talking things over with Jared DeHart, Mariners assistant hitting coach. I have a feeling those two guys will be talking a lot. Kyle Seager leads it off for the Mariners. Ground balls continue for Plesac. 1 pitch and 1 out. Download the MLB app for live pitch-by-pitch updates, video highlights, breaking news, and more for both the Mariners and all of Major League Baseball.
Steckenrider still throwing in the pen, so wonder if that's going to be it for Logan Gilbert.
Mariners do not have a hit yet. They have just 2 base runners, a couple of walks in the first inning. Kyle Lewis had one of them. Meanwhile, the pitch count is very much in Plesac's favor. He's had multiple 1-pitch outs so far in this game.
Well, and if he continues to pitch well, Terry Francona will stay with him through 112 pitches in his last outing. I'll leave him out there.
It is amazing when you think about Cleveland and their rotation in recent years. Corey Kluber, he is gone. Trevor Bauer, the mega deal with the Dodgers. Mike Clevenger dealt to the Padres, then having to undergo Tommy John, unfortunately. But 3 premier horses at the front of a rotation all have departed. And yet they still had the Cy Young winner last year in Shane Bieber. Mariners will have to face him on Sunday.
He has been striking out everybody.
And by any metric so far this year, they have a top 5 rotation in the American League, despite losing all that horsepower. Lays off a close pitch. Lewis draws his second walk. We now hear a word from Home Depot.
Scan the field and read the product review. Check inventory status and place your order easily in the Home Depot app.
1-on-1 on Ty France, the batter. Quick move, and they got Kyle Lewis at first base.
Quick move, quick tag. Kyle was leaning it all, but look at the throw right back into the runner. An easy tag, that's right on the mark. Angel Hernandez, first base umpire, making the call.
No challenge. Well, this is a very quick inning once again for Plesac. 4 complete, 4-0 Indians. Two Major League debuts tonight. Logan Gilbert up on the mound. Jared Kelnick in left field. Two of the top prospects in the game. Logan Gilbert is done tonight after 4 innings.
5 hits, 4 runs. All of them earned. A couple of home runs hurt him tonight. Didn't walk anybody. 5 strikeouts. He threw 71 pitches. 12 of 18 first pitch strikes.
That brings us to our Beacon Plumbing call to the pen. Drew Steckenrider is now up on the hill.
Average fastball, 93 miles an hour. Curveball and a changeup. 14 innings, 8 walks, 16 strikeouts for Drew.
Cesar Hernandez leads it off. Takes outside, ball 1. Well, overall, I'm sure that Logan would have preferred to go 5 as opposed to 4, and I'm sure he would have preferred to have given up fewer than 4 runs tonight, but the first one is out of the way, which has to be a good feeling.
I'm sure it's important that it's out of the way. I'm sure he was amped up today. Mislocation a couple of times that cost him. Thought overall, though, his stuff was pretty good. We topped out at 97. I really liked his curveball. Started to get some strikeouts on the slider towards the end. Didn't see much of the changeup. And he didn't walk anybody.
Line to center. Kyle Lewis has been busy as he cuts across. Makes the catch for 1 out.
Looked like he was knuckling on him a little bit.
Ahmed Rosario, the batter. It is wild to think about the fact that both Logan and Jared debut on the same night. It's almost impossible to think of a time when any 2 players have made their major league debut in the same game, unless it was at the start of the season on opening day, for example. But to have it be 2 highly touted prospects, 2 major prospects at that, to debut on the same night this is a real rarity.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier this afternoon. Couldn't come up with another time, especially when you consider how important they're going to be to this organization.
Three balls and a strike to Rosario. Dylan Moore getting out of the way of Kyle Lewis with the basket catch.
Well, that's a good thing, too, I think. Dylan, that ball started to move away from him, slicing away from him as it was fading back. Kyle taking charge as he should. Good communication. That calls it late. Dylan able to put on the brakes.
They're having a cup of water ready for Kyle at the end of every half inning. It's all over the place. Jose Ramirez, 2-run home run his last time up. Now Dylan wants this one, and this time he puts it away. And the side retired in order.
Ford Sports Desk, Brad Adam with you. And I like that, of course, fans are back at T-Mobile Park. So too the concessions. Hashtag where I root. Bob enjoying pizza and a baseball kind of night. That's every night, Bob. Derek in a fully vaccinated section in center field. That's the pen. It's where I stay. So keep it clean out there. Nathan, beautiful first game back. No doubt about that. Perfect weather. Get to see the debut of Gilbert and Kelenic, and hopefully get to see a little Mariners comeback here as we start the bottom of the 5th inning with Aaron and Mike.
All right, thank you, Bradley. Yeah, Mike and I crushed some Ballard Pizza Company before the game.
Excellent dinner.
So we are happy that the concessions are back
Yes,
in order. J.P. Crawford leading things off.
Yeah, outside of 3 walks, Plesac has been pretty good. We mentioned in the last 2 outings how well he has pitched, and he's continued here tonight.
Jumps ahead 0-2. 4 batters so far tonight he has retired on just a single pitch, including 2 in the 4th while picking off Kyle Lewis after a walk. On the ground, cut off. Ramirez right by the bag. Leadoff man retired. Well, the Mariners host the Tigers Monday through Wednesday. The first 3,000 fans at each game, 21 and over, will receive a Mariners tote bag courtesy of EQC. Stop by Mariners.com to reserve your seats. One out, nobody on for Luis Torrens. And blink your eyes and it's 0-2. There's been a trend so far tonight.
52 pitches, 35 strikes, 17 batters, 13 first pitch strikes.
He gets Torrens on 3 pitches, 2 up and 2 down. How about our Geico this date in big league history? Mike, would you like to do the honors?
No, I think that you're going to have to do this one.
Well, Stan, I just wanted to hear you say it. It just would have meant even more. Stan the Man becomes the 8th player to notch 3,000 career hits. He finished his career with exactly the same number of hits at home as he did on the road.
So you're saying he was a pretty consistent player.
Here is ball 1 to Dylan Moore.
I was able to pick that up, Aaron.
Multi-homer night for Noelvi Marte. Another ground ball. Now Plesac just carving through this order. Mariners baseball is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. Be sure to join the all-new EQC Players Club. More info at emeraldqueen.com. By your local Ford dealer, home of the F-150, America's best-selling truck for 44 years. And by Alaska Airlines. Book now. Mask up. Let's go. Just a gorgeous night as we get to the 6th inning. Jarred Kelenic making his major league debut this evening. Plenty on the pass list tonight for Jarred Kelenic. Family in the house. Gets strike 1 to Eddie Rosario. After Gilbert got the start tonight in his major league debut and went 4 innings, Steckenrider with a clean 5th. Three pitches, all strikes. 1 out.
Able to get ahead with a couple of fastballs, one off the outside corner, then right back with a changeup down out of the zone. Reyes with an impressive home run his first time up, headed out to center field.
Gets a fastball across to make it 1-1.
And looking forward to what Logan Gilbert has to say after the game. How he was feeling out there. What was going through his mind. Probably a lot.
Ended up throwing 61% fastballs. Reyes cuts through it. 2 up and 2 down. Now, quick word from Jack in the Box.
Get my 50-50 popcorn chicken with both classic and spicy, only at Jack in the Box.
So I'm guessing that fastball percentage was right in line with what the game plan was from Logan. We know that his fastball has been so effective for him over the course of his career.
Yeah, a lot of that early, the first couple of innings. He started to mix it up a little bit more towards the end of the third and into the fourth.
Naylor towards the corner. And out of play. And Jared just making a fan happy. You know, it's an easier play for number 10 out there.
That fan would have been fine if he was able to reach it, just pick it up, but pretty cool. Kelenic in his debut handed him a baseball.
Surprised the fan didn't give him a pen in return. Here's a chopper to Dylan Moore. Steckenrider, 6 up, 6 down out of the bullpen. Nothing Cleveland, bottom 6. Our Coors Light beating the pressure. Minor league at-bats before their major league debut. A-Rod and Zunino. Griffey, 462. Kelenic, 690. And you see Seager and Edgar not taking account for the 2020 alt-site ABs. Strike one to Evan White.
Plesac, it's been that way all night. Mariners still looking for their first hit. He's really starting to keep the ball on the ground now. It's been strikeouts or ground outs for him. He fly balls early on, but he's settled in.
Jammed him. Getting out of play foul. Ramirez out of room. If you can't tell, it's a neon hat night at the ballpark. Looks like everybody's okay. Worth it for the souvenir, possibly.
Well, he made the play, just couldn't keep his balance.
Out to right field. This has some carry to it. Naylor, though, in front of the warning track. Out number 1. That brings up Jared Kelenic. Third at bat tonight. Kelenic taken 6th overall in 2018 by the Mets. 8 spots before the Mariners drafted Logan Gilbert. Both debuting tonight.
It's a couple of change-ups his last time up and starts him with a change-up. Again, off the plate away.
off the knees, 0-2. Scooped by Bowers at first base. Will hand off to Plesac. 2 up and 2 down. That brings up Mitch Haniger.
Another off-speed pitch, been able to hit it hard. Unfortunately, it was right at the first baseman. A little short hop.
Haniger 0 for 2. Swinging strike 1. Mariners have just 4 hard hit balls so far tonight. They've all been on the ground.
That has been Plesac's specialty this year. Ground ball out.
4th highest ground ball rate in the league. Mariners looking for their first hit in the 6th inning. One and 2.
And they're not able to lay off the slider. A couple of sliders down and away.
Robert Duggar loosening up. 2 perfect innings in relief from Steckenrider in back of Logan Gilbert.
He really threw the ball well. Excellent curveball tonight.
High target for the 1-2. He jammed him. Rosario patrolling back. And he's called off by Rosario. There's a couple of them out there. The side retired in the Mariners fully vaccinated sections tomorrow through Wednesday. Fans have received a final vaccination dose at least 2 weeks prior to the day of the game can purchase tickets in non-socially distanced sections for as low as $10, like what we're looking out at in the Pen. Plus, they'll score great rewards, including 20% off all Mariners team store gear and concessions throughout the game, a CS Rise shirt, and access to the T-Mobile Pen. Fully vaccinated section tickets and info can be had at mariners.com/vaccination. Robert Duggar is up on the mound for the 4th time.
3 appearances, opponents hitting .250 against him. 6 innings of work, just 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Average fastball, 91 miles an hour. Slider, curve. Rare changeup from him. Leans on the 2 breaking balls.
They'll face the bottom 3rd. It begins with Harold Ramirez. Indians 2 runs in the 2nd, highlighted by the home run from Franmil Reyes. Then another 2 runs in the 3rd. Jose Ramirez with a 2-run smash. So far, that's been plenty of offense for the fighting Franconas. Mariners without a hit so far. Dials it down for strike 1. Tied him up. Fastball in, 0-2. Cut on and miss. Good heater at the knees. Ramirez is out number 1 as we go back to the Ford Sports Desk and check in with Brad.
Well, Aaron, thank you very much. Fans excited to get back to T-Mobile Park, excited to see the debuts tonight, and excited to get in the pen. It's hashtag where I root. Above the pen, vaccinated pen. Yes, Mike, congratulations to you and all your friends out there. Again, keep my pen nice and neat. PJ, north of the border from Canada, looking forward to years of highlights from these two young Mariners. We all are looking forward to that. And Josh, enjoying the game. Just Josh. I like it. Hashtag where I root. Keep them coming. We'll get them on throughout the game and post-game, of course, guys.
And PJ's view is the only one that rivals ours here at the ballpark. As Bowers looks at strike 1.
Another first pitch curveball from Duggar.
So in June of 2019, Shohei Ohtani hit for the cycle. The very next day, Jake Bowers hit for the cycle as a member of the Indians. He cycled against the Tigers. According to lengthy research, it was the first time cycles were recorded in back-to-back days since 1885. As he goes down swinging. Not sure if even now Bowers knows that he was a part of such illustrious history.
Might go right to the top of your niche.
I don't think there's any doubt. I think you just got dethroned, my friend.
I figured that was the case.
If you're wondering who it was Dave Orr of the New York Metropolitans, who had 21 triples that year.
Whoa.
5'11", 250, by the way. And George Wood of the Detroit Wolverines. Pre-modern era, if you will. 1-0 to Austin Hedges. What was it, 480 to the gap for the 21 triples, we think?
Probably.
Line right to the Gold Glove of J.P. Crawford. Oh, the bullpen has been magnificent. Lineup and tonight's 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Washington's Lottery. Get up and stretch your imagination. Imagine with friends, family, even neighbors. Imagination is better together. Mariners on the hunt for their first hit tonight against Zach Plesac.
Middle of the lineup due up. So hopefully this will be the turn that they're able to pick up a base hit. Just 3 walks. That's it.
Seager leading things off for the Mariners. Takes low for ball 1.
Perfect location on the changeup. The left-handers, his changeup tonight. Pretty good pitch for him. He's running it off the outside corner.
Two and two.
We were talking about it earlier in the game, how much he really mixes it up. And it doesn't matter how many times through the lineup, ahead in the count, behind in the count, he's going to use all of his pitches. And so far, we're seeing that here. Seeing the fastball, changeup, curveball.
Bowers handles this at first base. 1 out. as we bring you inside the ballpark through our T-Mobile coverage cam. One out for Kyle Lewis.
Kyle has walked a couple of times.
This gets out of play foul. Mariners have drawn 3 walks tonight. Seager has the other one. Plesac walked back-to-back hitters with 2 outs in the first inning. Ever since the first, he has faced the minimum. Backs up a half step. Ramirez. 2 outs.
And we've been seeing quite a bit of this. Ground ball out. Seager, the grounder to first. Now Kyle hitting the ground ball over to the third baseman, Ramirez. France has grounded out a couple of times.
There have already been 4 no-hitters in baseball this year, and the Indians have been victim to 2 of them. This time it's Cleveland in the driver's seat. Fly ball towards the corner. Naylor running out of room, and he makes another fine catch. Plesac. The Mariners are rewarding fully vaccinated fans for helping our community stay safe and rise up from the pandemic. Each home game tomorrow through Wednesday, all fans that show proof of having received their final vaccination dose at least 2 weeks prior to the day of the game will score great rewards, including 20% off all Mariners team store gear and concessions, a CS Rise shirt, and access to the T-Mobile pen. For complete details and info on fully vaccinated sections with tickets for $10, Mariners.com/vaccination. Top of the order, Hernandez, strike 1. Make it 0-2.
Robert Duggar starting the hitters off with the slow curveball. Worked for him in the 7th inning, 1-2-3 7th. And quickly ahead here.
And to center field, just past Crawford's glove. First Indians hitter to reach base since the 4th inning. Nine straight retired from the bullpen.
Yeah, he was out in front of the curveball that time, was able to keep his hands back. Pitch was down. Solid line drive back up the middle.
Leadoff man reaching in front of Ahmed Rosario. Zach Plesac has fired 7 no-hit innings. He has been the starting pitcher in both games this year where the Indians have been no-hit, including in his last start when he really dominated the Reds. He pitched to Gem 8 innings against Cincinnati, a really good offense this year. But Wade Miley spun the no-hitter. And then Carlos Rodon, who had baseball's first no-hitter this year, back in mid-April for the White Sox against the Indians. Two balls and a strike. Two and two. It was just days before the Miley no-hitter that the Mariners were no-hit here at home by John Means and the Orioles. Indians have won 3 in a row. They've won 8 of their last 9. Strike 3 called. Some paint on the outer black.
For a bunch of curveballs, they were able to come back with a pretty good fastball in the outside corner.
Don't miss a brand new episode of Mariners All Access this Sunday. Angie gets a lesson in hitting from Mariners hitting coach Tim Laker. Also learn about the choreography behind the players' celebrations. If you missed Sunday's episode, tune in for re-airs throughout the week on Root Sports. And steps Jose Ramirez. Wild swing and a miss. 0-2.
Well, he has the good curveball tonight. He's going to use it. It's been 74, 75 miles an hour. It's 12-6 curveball. That one out of the zone, getting him to chase it. Ramirez hit his home run on the fastball.
Clubs this high and foul. According to the great Sarah Langs, Plesac, one of just 2 pitchers to start 2 such games for his team in a single season, to go along with Jim Perry in '73, the opposing pitcher of a no-hitter. White, Dylan Moore, it's the Mariners' second baseman. 2 out. A special moment pregame as Karen Turner from Auburn threw out the ceremonial first pitch. She is the Mariners' honorary Batgirl, which is an MLB program to help raise awareness and funds to support breast cancer research. Karen is battling breast cancer for a second time, and we wish her a very quick and speedy recovery, plus many more nights at the ballpark. Tag, they got him at first base. Hernandez is out. We'll see if Francona wants to challenge this. He's waiting for word. Mariners are heading off the field.
Quick move from Duggar and an accurate throw. They're not going to challenge it.
Well, Zach Plesac has been the one to steal the show tonight. First batter of the ballgame. First pitch, in fact. Josh Naylor tumbling into the stands. Just a couple of strikeouts. Hardly a hard-hit ball tonight against Plesac, who has kept it on the ground. Mikey has continually worked ahead. Plenty of first-pitch strikes. He has been in cruise control.
Yeah, he really has. Pretty good change-ups to the left-handed hitters. The slider more to the righties. A lot of that. Ball on the ground. There's a change-up. Starting Crawford off the change-up. His fastball command has also been excellent. Most of them at the bottom of the zone. He'll elevate every now and then, but I think he's just showing it so he can go back through the off-speed pitches.
Interestingly enough, the Indians own the longest streak of not throwing a no-hitter. It's been over 39 years since an Indians pitcher hurled one. That was Lynn Barker, a perfect game against the Blue Jays at Old Cleveland Stadium.
It is surprising when you consider all the
Yes.
starting pitchers that you were naming off earlier in the game that have left Cleveland.
Line, it's a base hit!
One of the few mistakes that he made with the changeup. This one, he leaves it up in the zone. Crawford able to get to it. Just a solid line drive into center field on a mistake. 86 miles an hour. It was on the outside corner, but it was up in the zone.
Well, now the rally can start. Luis Torrens in play, kicks off the glove. Scooped up Rosario. That's a good-looking play. Crawford into second. First time the Mariners have had a runner in scoring position since the first inning.
Plesac almost made the play. It was hit right back at him. And I think maybe it hit his glove. Tried to make the backhanded play right off the pinky of his glove.
One out, Crawford at second. Dylan Moore, the batter.
Plesac has hit 95 tonight. It's typically 93, 94 in that range. Mostly at the bottom of the zone.
JP easily takes third. It's a long way away from Hedges.
He'll spike the breaking ball. It'll be a wild pitch.
Mike, he is just unraveling, isn't he? Maybe not quite yet.
Maybe not quite yet.
One out and a runner 90 feet away. I believe Cal Raleigh doubled twice in the same inning in this Tacoma game, by the way. Trammell is 4 for 5 with a homer. High drive. This is on its way and gone. Way up top.
Dylan Moore starting to heat up. It's a really tough month of April for him, but he's starting to put some games together. And here's another off-speed pitch. It's a changeup. So a couple of mistakes with the changeup in this inning. Exit velo of 105. 406 feet away into the second deck.
In the hat. What a catch. There's some paperwork with a contract waiting for that man.
Carl Willett, the pitching coach at the mound, having a conversation. Right-hander just starting to get loose in the pen, so he just wants to buy a little bit of time.
Former Mariner for a brief while. Brian Shaw back with the Indians. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. As you were saying, after 7 innings, Mike, the Mariners have Plesac right where they want him.
You have to wonder, once the base hit is happening, he certainly was aware of what was going on. You see the right smile on his face and made a couple of mistakes with the changeup. I'm surprised he even threw the changeup right there. Thought maybe he'd go back to his breaking ball. Paid off for the Mariners. Kelnick on deck.
One and 2 to Evan White. This is lined out towards left center, and the catch is made by Rosario. Hit down on the screws.
Another mistake. Breaking ball that was up in the zone. Tough break for Evan White. That was on the barrel. Nobody had been up in the pen, but with the Mariners scoring a couple of runs, I see Eric Swanson is out there starting to get loose.
Kelnick 0 for 3 in his debut. Ball 1. Swanson and Graveman getting warm. Ruled a strike.
Yeah, it didn't have to be. It was off the plate. You see Tracer? 93-mile-an-hour fastball off the plate.
He gets back in front. Seven no-hit innings tonight from Zach Plesac. The Mariners get 2 in the 8th. Kelnick, high lift, left center. Ramirez underneath it. VMFH.org. And by Jack in the Box, go classic, spicy, or both with the new 50-50 popcorn chicken with ranch, only at Jack in the Box. Curbside view of T-Mobile Park. Game 1 of 4, Mariners and the Indians. Mariners now within 2. Eric Swanson is up on the mound now for Scott Service.
It'll be his 4th appearance. Opponents hitting just 100 against him. Average fastball at 95 miles an hour. He'll touch 97, 98 at the top of the zone. Mix in a slider, 6 2/3. A couple of walks, 4 strikeouts for Eric.
Andy Rosario leads off the Indians' 9th. Hard hit ground ball. Diving stop. Evan White. Swanson beating Rosario to the bag. 1 away.
Excellent play on both sides of it. Big delivery, Supermo in the swing. Went towards the hole, but Evan White covers a lot of ground. And Eric Swanson gets off the mound quickly.
I didn't know Swanee had a 70 grade speed right there, Mike.
That was pretty good. I don't know about 70, maybe 60.
I mean, we're on a pitcher's scale, Mike. Reyes pops up the first pitch. This is way up there. Torrens underneath it. 2 pitches, 2 outs. And a fast worker as well, Swanson. Now there's a lot of heat in that bullpen. Emmanuel Clase, which is triple digits, getting loose. Two quick outs. Josh Naylor, the batter. And he's 7 upstairs.
Swanson feels pretty good tonight. Back-to-back 97. The Mariners in the bottom of the 9th. Haniger, Seager, Lewis are due up.
Oh-2. Fouled straight back.
All 3 pitches at the top of the zone. That one probably just above it, trying to climb the ladder on him.
Haniger, Seager, and Kyle Lewis when we get to the bottom of the 9th inning. Snaps that off for a strike 3 call. Logan Gilbert making his major league debut tonight. The Mariners were hoping for 5. They got 4 out of young Logan Gilbert.
Topped out at 97 miles an hour. Had a pretty good curveball. Eventually found his slider to pick up a couple of strikeouts, getting him to chase it in the dirt. Didn't see much of the changeup tonight, but again, only 4 innings of work. Started off throwing a lot of fastballs, then started to mix it up. There you go, 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs that they were earned, a couple of home runs that hurt him. Didn't walk anybody, 5 strikeouts, 71 pitches, 67% on first pitch strikes.
Emmanuel Clase is up on the mound. 7 saves this year, just 1 blown save, and he is bringing the heat.
Well, Aaron, you mentioned that he can hit 100. He's averaging 100 miles an hour. What you didn't tell us is that it's a cutter. It's a cutter at 100 miles an hour and a slider at 91. He'll throw that fastball about 80% of the time.
It is interesting. He does not have ridiculous strikeout numbers. Now, that's not to say he can't punch tickets. He obviously can, but you would think with that type of velocity, he'd have a strikeout rate north of 30%. He's right now at about 24% strikeout rate. Not many walks. There's strike one. Took something off at 99. Ton of ground balls from Class A. 75% ground ball rate. As this IQ gets popped up. Ramirez, third baseman, over. Hedges as well, but it's Jose Ramirez. Zach Plesac, 7 no-hit innings before running into air quotes trouble in the 8th, as the Mariners made it interesting against Plesac late. The 2-run home run by Dylan Moore.
Well, he was on a roll coming into this game. His last 2 outings were excellent. And as you mentioned, 7 no-hit innings. First pitch strikes, 28 batters, 20 first pitch strikes, only threw 96 total pitches. But he was in command tonight.
It was J.P. Crawford, the first hit off of Plesac, a leadoff single in that 8th inning. And then 2 batters later, Dylan Moore up to the second deck. Fights this off towards left. Rosario back on his heels. 1 out remaining for the Mariners. It's up to Kyle Lewis. Julio going deep again tonight. Emerson Hancock up on the mound for High A Everett. Hancock, the most recent of the 3 first-round draft pick right-handed pitchers that the Mariners have selected the last 3 drafts. Missing inside with 100. Mike, for all the velocity in the game, there still is something that really excites all of us about 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, we see 95 to 98 every night. In any inning, it could happen, but still, it's rare to find a guy who can hit 100, especially with the seeming ease that Class A has.
Well, we just saw Swanson. He was hitting 97 consistently. Challenged him with 100. It's a 100-mile-an-hour cutter.
And not surprising, Class A has been off the barrel.
We have all the ground ball outs.
One inside. Two-out walk. Lewis draws his 3rd walk tonight.
An important walk. Down a couple of runs and bring up Ty France.
Tito a little less comfortable now. The first to France. Watch out. Oh, my goodness. Able to get out of the way in 98.
98, and this is right at him. Hard enough to get out of the way of a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, Aaron, but when you're as a hitter, a right-handed hitter, you understand that that fastball has some cut to it, then he has the slider, everything moving away from you, so you really have to stay in there probably a little bit longer than most, but Ty fortunately able to get out of the way.
Meeting up on the mound.
Crawford on deck.
Two and one.
2-0 taking a chance on a high fastball.
France to tie and run at the plate with 2 outs. Down to his final strike.
And ended up chasing that time, climbing the ladder up out of the zone at 99.
Here it comes. Outside. You want Kyle Lewis. Now has it full to France. Here's the payoff. Well outside. A couple of 2-out walks. And the Mariners bring the winning run to the plate.
And that will bring Carl Willis out of the dugout pitching coach for Cleveland. Our infield walking towards the mound, so they're going to have a meeting out there.
Clase has walked just 4 batters all season. He's walked 2 in this inning. We're on the air tomorrow at 6:37. It's our first pitch. Aaron Civale is off to a strong start this year. Start number 8 for the Indians. Meanwhile, Chris Flexen will throw the slab for Scott Service. Mike, what is it even like, if you can try to describe it, to pick up 100 miles an hour as a hitter?
Well, I think when I was playing, there was a few guys that could hit 100, and it was almost impossible because you just didn't see it. But I think in today's game, because these guys are seeing mid-upper 90s quite a bit, it's still, that's another level, no question about it. But I think that they can kind of slow things down enough. The key to it, though, is you have to get them on the plate. We saw a couple of hitters chase above the strike zone, not necessarily chase off the plate away, but above. You have to get him down. The top of the zone, it's going to be next to impossible to hit.
Ball 1 to JP. Hedges is able to track it down. Everybody stays put. 2-0 on Crawford.
That's just a bad break for the Mariners right there. You don't expect a pitcher to spike his fastball at 99 and then barely knocking it down with his glove. Haggerty pitch running over at first.
Missing again.
Boy, he just all of a sudden out for a couple of quick outs. He's been all over the place. Looks like Brian Shaw is getting loose in a hurry out in the pen for Cleveland.
4-pitch walk, and the Mariners have him loaded up. Clase has walked 4 batters all year. He has walked 3 in this inning. All with 2 outs.
Luis Torrens walking to the plate. Looks like Francona out of the dugout.
He's making the signal. Ninth inning, 2-out pitch and change. Clase retiring the first 2. Sam Haggerty running for Ty France at second. Crawford aboard at first. All reaching on ball 4. Flamethrower Emmanuel Clase is out, and Brian Shaw, longtime Indian who was with the Mariners last year and really struggled, back with the Indians now and pitching well this season.
14 appearances, an .089 batting average, 13 2/3. He has 14 strikeouts. He does have 8 walks. Cutter, slider, his average cutter 93 miles an hour.
Shaw 6 innings with the Mariners last year. He gave up 12 runs on 13 hits. He's not up here long. Facing Torrens. First pitch strike.
Center fielder Ramirez over in right center.
Tying run at second with great speed. Well outside, boy, Hedges. What a play.
He's done that a couple of times in this inning. This is the slider. Somehow he's able to get it in the webbing of his glove as it hits the dirt. Painted the cutter. It's a velo too at 96 miles an hour when you consider his average is 93. He just paints the outside corner at the knees with 96.
Torrens down to his final strike. And that's the ball game. Mariners make it interesting late, but not enough as the Indians win it tonight 4-2.
A couple of important debuts for the Mariners, so they've put that behind them. The bullpen tonight was just outstanding for Seattle. Unfortunately, not enough offense. They had enough walks today, but only 2 hits in the ball game, including a home run by Dylan Moore, his 4th.
Back at it tomorrow night, 7:10, the first pitch. Chris Flexen up on the hill. Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines begins right now. Angie, it's all yours.
Guys, thanks so much. So many different twists and turns in this game. We hyped it all up for a couple of amazing Major League debuts, and then it almost ended up being historical for a completely different reason.
Yeah, Plesac came in. He's been no-hit on a couple times on the bad end of that. So
exactly.
He's trying to get it back for that for sure.
We'll get into that. And by the way, folks, J.P. Crawford single snapped an 0-for-49 drought for Mariners hitters at home. That is the longest hitless drought by any team at home in the last 40 years. You mentioned it. Zach Plesac, the last time out through 8 scoreless innings, but his team was no hit at the hands of Wade Miley. He seemed bent on returning the favor to the Mariners, and he nearly did.
Yeah, I mean, he looked really tough. And for Zach Plesac, again, I feel like the Mariners of late, this offense, when they're running into a top-tier pitcher, there's a little bit of an overwhelming factor when they're able to, like Zach Plesac, to command 2 to 3 plus pitches. That's what we saw tonight up until when J.P. Crawford in the 8th inning, like you talked about, Angie, get that hit. But look, he didn't strike out a whole lot of guys. A lot of swings and misses, but just ground ball right through the roof. Dylan Moore finally starting to heat up. But, man, Zach Plesac, he was awfully tough tonight.
You see this happen so many times that once the guy loses the no-hitter, that all of a sudden, the shutout goes next. Yeah. He's thinking about something else. And this is madness, folks, courtesy of Sarah Langs on Twitter. Zach Plesac was the starter both times. You mentioned that the Indians were no-hit this year, one of just 2 pitchers to start 2 such games for his team in a single season, going all the way back to 1973, Jim Perry with Detroit. He would have been the first to start 2 times with his team and have them be no-hit and then throw a no-hitter in the same season. Yeah, that would be crazy.
On a mission.
We're all thrilled that didn't happen.
I'm sure he knew all that, too.
Yeah, exactly. We're all thrilled that didn't happen. All right, let's get back to the dudes. The expectations, they are tremendous for Jarred Kelenic. They are pretty high for fans in the organization, but there is no doubt that Kelenic himself certainly has the highest. He doesn't collect his first major league hit, but he had a couple of good at-bats. He hit some balls hard tonight.
Yeah, I love, and could you draw it up any differently? Coming out the first pitch this guy sees, all the anticipation, this big moment, whack, he's going swinging, going hunting right away. Oh, by the way, amazing catch out there from Naylor in right field. But Jarred Kelenic, no time to soak in the moment, just getting after it. Strikeout against that Plesac nasty changeup.
That could have been a hit.
Yeah, absolutely. Some hard contact from Jarred Kelenic. He can obviously hit. We all know that. 3 of the outs besides the strikeout were all hard hit. You know he's going to get that first hit, and he's going to get that first RBI and everything else. But, man, what such anticipation for a guy in Jarred Kelenic. We've heard so much about him, and good to see him finally on the scene. It's all going to come. It's all going to come about.
Yeah, and again, congratulations. It's such a dream come true for these guys who've worked their whole lives. Logan Gilbert, we're going to get into him shortly in just a second. And really just an unforgettable night. It doesn't go the way that anybody wants it to. Logan doesn't walk away with his first win, but he crossed his first strikeout off of his list. Cesar Hernandez gets that distinction. Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines is just getting started, folks.
Logan Gilbert up on a major league mound for the first time in his career. Another strikeout for Logan Gilbert. Jarred Kelenic been waiting his whole life for this very moment. Tumbles into the stands, and he makes the catch. That's a tough way to get it going.